Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm here with Laurie Cerrone from Laurie's Buffalo Gourmet, one of my very favorite places, or I should say businesses in Utah.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I lived on chips and salsa through college, as do many young men.
It's a staple, for sure.
And of course, there was, libation to go with it, of course. But, because you got to have all the food groups there.
Right.
But certainly chips and salsa, kind of my big one. And yours are obviously my favorite. These ones right here, the thin white.
Those are
my
favorite.
goodness,
They
they're
are
so good.
They are.
It's like going to your favorite restaurant.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we have lots of great flavors, and we've worked really hard to have a snack food that's healthy. So it's organic corn, non-GMO, great oil. We use high fiber, low sodium. We've really tried and are continuing to try to perfect the product so that it's actually a snack food you can enjoy that is good for you.
Well, the great part about salsa is it's a zero when it comes to calories and things like that. You can eat all of it you want.
Well, and the other thing about our salsa is that so many salsas have sugar, and we do not have sugar in our salsa.
Exactly.
So
you can pretty much eat all of it you want.
Right.
And then if you have really good chips that are healthy for you, you can kind of get away with that. And really what a chip is just a medium to get the salsa in your mouth, I think, isn't it?
Right, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you could drink it, but it's just not as fun.
Well, that's why we have the thick and the thin, because the thick really scoops up a big chunk.
There you go. Awesome. Well, we'll probably need the thick ones for this little thing we're going to make here. We're going to make a little bit of a fruit salsa.
Right, we are.
It's excellent.
Easy, quick. We're just going to basically cut up. I'm just going to cut up some apples here.
Okay.
We're going to chop those real quickly and just do, a little bit of fruit. We always are trying to think of things that we can do. I mean, there are those recipes we have on our website that, may not be as healthy.
Right.
But this is one I think that, could be fun, pretty healthy. So we've got that.
Well, while we're making this, let me ask you a few questions about the Buffalo Gourmet.
Sure.
So where did this idea come from? Because, there's lots of chips out there. You probably I can't imagine how you wouldn't be in the store going, well, this is a pretty tough market.
Yeah, and that really was. I mean, it is a competitive market in the chip aisle, obviously. But, honestly, we started out making the chips thinking, well, we'll just make the chips we made at home. And this is a typical food entrepreneur story, that you had a product, everybody said you should sell it.
Yeah.
And so we actually rented a hamburger stand in Holiday at night after they closed. And we went in for our kitchen. We had to have an approved kitchen, of course.
Yep.
So we rented that, went in at 9:30 and worked until 4:30, and my children included, and we made chips. Whoops.
That's really cool.
And then just grew from there. But basically, when I came home with my first little 15 cases of chips, I had thought, no one is going to buy these. What in the world am I going to do? And that was 12 years ago.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, and so now we're selling, to many, many places, and who would have thought? And yes, I think what we have that's unique is we actually, on our flavors, we have a black bean and garlic, we have a chipotle, sesame. And then we have, and so what we do is when the corn is made to make the chips, we actually mix in the actual food. So black beans and garlic go into the corn.
Oh, really?
To actually flavor.
So it's part of the corn meal part of it before you make the chip.
No artificial color, flavor, nothing. I mean, we are, the real thing. So I think that's what our uniqueness is.
That's really cool. Now, you're located in a lot of little stores. There's a lot of places you can get this. You can get it in Harmon's, throughout Utah. Whole Foods. Where else up here in Park City?
Here in Park City, the market.
Okay.
Obviously Whole Foods. And then just as of today, we're going to be in both of the fresh markets.
Oh, nice.
In Jeremy Ranch and back into just
the one right next
door.
To us.
Yeah. So we'll be there. And, we've just been kind of gradually growing, trying to just keep it at a pace that's manageable for us. And it's been great. Good experience.
Terrific. It's so important to buy local. And you guys obviously agree with that, and certainly it's been a big benefit to you that so many Utahns, and especially people up here in Park City, are accustomed to trying to find local products.
Right. It really has become a passion of mine to help not only the growth of my own company, but to help other people who have local products to succeed, because number one, they're extremely inspirational stories.
Right.
People who give everything because of something that they believe in. So that's one thing. The other thing is there's some really good products.
Oh, for sure.
And
I think some of the very best stuff comes right here locally.
Absolutely, and wonderful people. So I had the good fortune of having a conversation with Utah Zone, who is the Department of Agriculture's group. And we finally decided that maybe it was a good idea for me to start a group called Utah Specialty. And basically what Utah Specialty does is we educate the food vendors on how to succeed. You know, how do you get your labels? How do you get to that shelf on the store? And then
what
once you're
places
on
do
the
you go to
shelf,
promote your product? All of that.
right. And once you're in the store, what do you do to stay there? Because there's a whole science to that. That has been a wonderful thing. We've created a wonderful community of local vendors that gather regularly to learn.
Well, there's so much to learn. Distribution, probably, as you mentioned, probably one of the most important ones.
That is the trickiest.
One of the most difficult.
In fact, we have a meeting this month on distribution because, you know, getting to the stores, you can get someone to want your product on their shelf, but unless you can get it to them, what good is that?
And how to get over that pinnacle of success where you now are saturated with orders to the point where you can't do anything to continue to grow, and you're cash short and it's hard to do it.
Exactly.
And I took a little gluten-free bakery to that point, Renee's Gluten-Free Heaven, and we got to the point where we're saturated. Now what?
Right.
And that can be tough.
And that's the next step. And you know, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is once you start growing your business, there are walls that you hit all along the way. So, and just quickly, I just want to say that with Utah Specialty, one of the things that we're doing is we're going out to the stores, to the local stores once a month and having a big vendor tasting day.
That's a great idea.
And
Working
so
as a kind of a co-op
right.
almost.
And those are going to be advertised in Edible Wasatch, and that people can come where we are, and we'll have up to 30 vendors at a time with local product.
Yeah, and Edible Wasatch is fairly new. They're only about 2 years old.
Right, and they are very supportive of us and just wonderful.
They're neat people.
So let me just.
What kind of chips should I be opening for this?
These open the thick. Yeah, and let me just say what I put in: apples, kiwi, raspberries, strawberries, and then I sprinkled this with just a little bit of cinnamon sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to put this
That's
in
a good
here.
Idea. Put some sugar on anything you feed me.
Yeah, that kind of makes everybody happy. You know, I figured for Valentine's we had to have a little bit of that.
You betcha.
We're going to throw
garnish
this on top there, kind of, kind of cute.
You realize I'm probably going to wreck that.
I know, but I'm kind of wrecking it right now, so it's okay. And then let's just stick a fun little kiwi back here.
Nice.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chip. Now, if I was at home, I would be spraying a little bit of butter or oil just to get the cinnamon to stick. But you can just do this, stick that right in there, and it makes a fun little dessert.
Now, rather than ruin your thing here, I'm gonna get a little cinnamon sugar. I'm just gonna use that spoon and just dig some out.
You just go right ahead.
Okay?
And then while you're eating that,
you can talk.
I'm gonna do the ice cream.
That sounds great.
So
ice cream.
And this
I didn't even know you brought ice cream.
And you're gonna be able to have that whole thing when I go. So what we're gonna do here, this is a quick, busy mom dessert. You're gonna just plunk that in there.
You can probably hear that in the mic. Crunch.
Can they hear me talk?
Or
do we?
They might be able to hear it over that.
Okay, here's the tricky part because we don't want to get chocolate everywhere. But we'll see.
Chocolate explosion.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of chocolate on there. And then same kind of idea. Then what we're going to do is we're going to throw a piece of strawberry on there, and we're going to grab a chip, put a little cinnamon sugar on there, and a little chip. And there you go.
Nice.
So we've got, you can dress that up as much as you want. There, we'll make that look really cute. And then that's a quick little fun thing for the kids. They'll like it. And it's quick and easy.
Good to me.
But the cinnamon chips are awesome. You want to use the thick and hearty because obviously it holds up.
Yep.
And
that's terrific. This tastes unreal. Let's talk about really quickly the different salsas.
Okay.
That's kind of my favorite part of this whole thing, as we mentioned. It's really just a way of getting it in your mouth. So this one is the roasted Pueblo chili and cilantro.
Right, we use Pueblo chilies in that salsa. It's a medium.
Okay.
We're soon to have some new labeling on our salsa, which will be nice. We switched to this packaging, and then we'll soon have a matching packaging, which will look really nice. And it will have on the jar in big letters, hot, medium, and mild. Yeah, because we have so many people get our habanero, and
then they call you up and say, "This is
oh my
so
gosh,
hot."
yeah. And then that's our habanero.
That's the habanero. That's the hot one.
And when we did the habanero, what we really wanted to achieve with that was
skull
flavor.
And bones on it.
I know, you're right. Well, when I do demos at places, people come up and just automatically go right for the habanero. And as they're going like this, I'm saying,
you might want to taste the other ones first, because you're not going to be able to taste anything in a minute.
So, and then we have our mild black bean and corn.
One. Yes.
And then a fun idea with that one is if you're doing rice, you can substitute some of the water for that salsa, and it actually makes a really yummy fiesta rice because it's got black beans, corn, and peppers in it.
Oh, that's terrific. That's a terrific idea.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's talk about really quickly about the chips too. We got the sesame medley.
We
talked about that. I'm excited to try that one.
Unbleached sesame seeds. Again, we're trying to be healthy.
Chipotle.
Our chipotle, a little bit spicy. It's got a real nice chipotle flavor, a little bit warm, and after a few minutes.
The black
and then our black bean and garlic. And these, I don't know if everybody's just on a black bean kick, but these have just really, really been a favorite lately. So
that's excellent.
So try them.
Well, I'm back to this one here as we go out to our commercial break. I'm going to eat a little bit more, and when we get back, I'll try to have a clean palate ready to try some chocolate, as we've got Milk Creek cacao here, and we're going to try all kinds of cool stuff with them.
Great.
And Laurie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Joe.
Laurie's
Appreciate
Buffalo
it.
Gourmet, and we'll be back after these messages.